Hi guys, so in this tutorial we'll go through how we can add an item to cart. So for this tutorial we'll use this website called sourcedemo.com. I'll post a link to this website in the description. So for this tutorial, this is the flow that we will go through. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll enter the username and password, followed by clicking the login button. And then once we are logged in, we will click the add to cart button. And then lastly, we'll also verify that the item was added to cart. So this is essentially like a test case, to test whether the item was added to the cart. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to first step. Actually, this is a prerequisite step, so which is to set up our WebDriver first. Okay, so we create a new instance of the WebDriver equals to new Chrome driver, and then driver.get, and then you put in the link to the website. So this brings you to this source demo website. Okay, then after we're done with that, we will log in to the website. Okay, so to log in, we first need to locate the elements. So we need to locate username, password, as well as the login button. So we do that by creating new instances of these three web elements. So username, password, and login button. And then we type driver.findElement by ID. So if you want to find out what the ID is, you go to the website and then you right click and then inspect. And then you'll see over here there's an ID attribute over here. So for in this case it's username for the username text field, and what you do is just copy this and then you put it inside the parameter for this method. Okay, and then you do the same for username, password, and also login button. And then once you've located these three elements, the next step would be to call the send keys method for username and password. So what this send keys method does is it it mimics, it simulates typing onto this text field. So in this case, we want to type standard underscore user into username and then secret sauce into password. Okay, now once that is done, then we will click on the login button with dot click, calling the dot click method, which is this one. Then after we have done that, we will go to the next page. Actually, let me just show you what it looks like. So standard user, and then secret sauce, then we will log in, and you will see this page right here. I actually zoomed it in so it looks very big, but it will actually look smaller. But yeah, this is the page that you will see after logging in, and we want to click on this add to cart button next. So that's actually in the next step, which is to locate and click the add to cart button for this item, Source Labs backpack. So to do that, once again we will create a new instance of the web element object, call it add to cart button, and then type driver.findElement by ID. So let's see the ID for this. We inspect this, then we'll see that the ID is add to cart Source Labs backpack, which is this, exactly the same. So once you done that, we will call the dot click method to click this. So once we click this changes to remove, and then okay, let me just change the color. Okay, then you can see there's number one here, the number one appears here. So the next step that we want to do is we want to verify if the item is added to the cart. So for this case, we want to check that this text, the number one text, appears on the shopping cart. So if it does appear on the shopping cart, we are saying that the item is added to the cart. So this is actually what we are doing with this if else statement. But before that, we have to locate the batch first. This batch on this shopping cart here. So we create new instance of the web element, then driver find element by the class name. So in this case, we use class name as the locator. So let me just right click this, inspect, and you will see that it's the class name here, class equals to shopping cart batch here. So just copy this and then paste it inside here. Okay, and once you've done that, the next step is to actually do the checking if this appears, the text 1 appears. So we do that with an if else statement. So if the cart batch dot get text equals to 1, so here, if it is equals to 1 in this text here, if it's equal to 1, then we will print in the console that the item was successfully added to the cart. Else it failed to add the item to cart. Okay, so that is the entire flow of adding to cart. So let's run the program and see what happens. It will go very fast. So essentially what happened is it went by very quickly, but we did log in. So the item was added to cart because we can see there's 1 here, and it's also changed to remove. I mean, additionally, you can add another case to check whether this button was changed to remove. But for this case, we simply check that this number one text appears over the shopping cart. Okay, so in the console, let's also see that it does say that item successfully added to cart. So we can certify that this test case has passed because the item did add to cart. Okay, so that's how we can add an item to cart. There was an example using a practice website such as Source Demo. You can apply this same flow or concept to other e-commerce websites, for example, Amazon or any marketplace that has this kind of functionality where you can add items to the cart also. So yeah, that's all we have for today. Thanks.